Every year, thousands of IGNOU MARD students reach the final stage of their Master of Arts in Rural Development, and almost all of them get one important fact about their project wrong. They treat MRDP-001 like an ordinary 4-credit project. It is not. This single dissertation is worth 12 credits, the heaviest course in the entire program, equal to 2 full theory courses. Underestimate it, and you risk a rejected synopsis, a returned report, or a delayed degree. Understand it properly, and it becomes the most rewarding part of your MARD. So here is the complete official answer in one place. MRDP-001 is a 12-credit, field-based research dissertation that every IGNOU MARD student must complete. You choose a real rural development problem, study it in the field, and present your findings as a bound dissertation of at least 100 pages. There is no term-end exam for this course. The dissertation is your exam. This guidance comes from BK Sahni, founder of Shri Chakradhar Education and IGNOUproject.com, who has guided IGNOU students since 2010. Everything here is built on the official IGNOU MARD program guide and the project work handbook. Always cross-check the latest version on ignou.ac.in. In this complete guide, you will learn what MRDP-001 really is, how the 12 credits change everything, the full 8-step life cycle, how your supervisor and synopsis approval actually work, field work and methodology, the complete dissertation structure chapter by chapter, submission, Viva, evaluation, and finally whether the MARD degree is genuinely worth it. Let us begin. First, what exactly is MRDP-001? MRDP-001 is the compulsory dissertation or project work course of the MARD program. Unlike a theory course, it is not taught through assignments and an exam. Instead, you conduct original, empirical research in a real rural area, a village, a block, a panchayat. Collect your own data and write it up as a structured dissertation under an approved supervisor. It helps to see where this sits. MARD is a 2-year postgraduate program under the School of Continuing Education, worth 66 credits in total. It is offered in both Hindi and English, has a minimum duration of 2 years and a maximum of 5, and is recognized by the UGC like every IGNOU degree. Now here is what most students miss. In MARD, every regular course is worth 6 credits, but MRDP-001 alone is worth 12 credits. It counts as 2 courses. That weight is a signal. The university expects real depth, real field work, and a serious document. This brings us to the first big myth. Many students assume every IGNOU project is 4 credits, because that is common in other programs. For MARD, that is simply wrong. MRDP-001 is 12 credits, the single largest course you will take. Plan your time accordingly and never treat it as a last-minute task. Let us lock in the key facts. 12 credits. A dissertation of not less than 100 pages on A4 paper, empirical field-based research, no term-end exam, and a minimum passing grade you must not ignore, which we will cover in the evaluation section. Think of it this way. A theory course gives you an assignment and a 3-hour exam. MRDP-001 replaces all of that with one long research journey. Proposal, fieldwork, analysis, and a bound dissertation. Same program, completely different kind of work. So why does IGNOU make this compulsory? And what is the full journey from start to finish? The purpose is practical. MRDP-001 exists to turn your theory into field skill, to help you analyze a real rural problem, design a study, collect data with proper tools, and translate learning into action. It builds researchability, writing discipline, and a genuine understanding of rural life. That matters for several reasons. It gives you hands-on research experience. It develops analytical and report writing skills. It creates a portfolio document you can show employers or even publish. And it prepares you for higher research such as MPhil or PhD. When should you start? Begin planning once you have studied your core courses, especially RDD-004, the Research Methods course, because its concepts are the foundation of your methodology. An early start gives you time for approval, field work, and corrections. The students who struggle are almost always the ones who begin too late. The whole project moves through 8 clear steps. Learn them once, and the process stops feeling overwhelming. Steps 1 to 4. 1. Read the official guidelines and project work handbook. 2. Select a rural development topic that genuinely interests you. 3. Meet the supervisor assigned to you at your study center. 4. Prepare your project proposal, the synopsis, exactly as the guidelines require. Steps 5 to 8. 5. Get your synopsis approved by your supervisor. 6. Conduct the field study and collect your data. 7. Analyze the data and write the dissertation, taking guidance at each stage. 8. Format, bind, and submit the dissertation, then prepare for any Viva. A realistic timeline helps. Give roughly 1 to 2 months to topic and proposal, a few weeks for approval, 1 to 2 months for field work and data, another month for analysis and writing, and a final stretch for proofreading, binding, and submission. Work backwards from your session deadline. Now the second big myth, and this one is unique to MARD. Many students believe they must post their synopsis to IGNOU headquarters or their regional center for approval. For MARD, that is not how it works. Your supervisor or counselor, assigned by your study center, grants the final approval. The approved proposal need not be sent to the faculty at IGNOU. It simply becomes part of your final dissertation. Since the supervisor is so central, let us understand that relationship. Your supervisor, also called your counselor or guide, is assigned through your study center. This person approves your proposal, guides you through field work and writing, and certifies that the work is genuinely yours. Choosing a topic in an area your supervisor knows well makes the whole journey smoother. Who can be a supervisor? Broadly, a person with a postgraduate qualification and relevant experience in rural development or an allied field such as a study center counselor, an academic, or a qualified professional. Always confirm the exact eligibility from your current project work handbook, since the wording can change. The supervisor's role runs across the whole project, approving your topic and synopsis, advising on methodology and tools, reviewing your draft chapters, and signing the supervisor's certificate that goes into your dissertation. With your supervisor identified, the next decision is your topic. A strong MARD topic passes 4 tests. It is specific, not vague. Its data is actually reachable in a rural area you can access. It fits the size of a 12-credit dissertation, and it connects clearly to rural development. Some proven MARD themes to spark ideas. Rural employment schemes such as MGNREGA, self-help groups and women's empowerment, rural health, sanitation and drinking water, agriculture, credit and cooperatives, Panchayati Raj and local governance, and rural education or migration. Here are 3 sample directions you could shape into a title. The impact of a rural housing scheme like PMAY in one block, the role of NRLM in rural livelihoods, or the effectiveness of self-help groups in women's income. For a full topics list, see our dedicated IGNOU project topics video, linked in the description. Throughout this guide, We will follow one running example so every step feels concrete. Our study. A study on the impact of self-help groups on women's economic empowerment in a rural block. Watch how it moves from a synopsis to a finished dissertation. That takes us to the synopsis, the gateway to your entire project. The synopsis, or project proposal, is a short document, usually around 10 to 15 pages, that describes what you plan to study and how. Nothing in the field begins until it is approved. We teach synopsis writing in depth in our dedicated IGNOU synopsis video. Here we cover what MARD specifically needs. Your synopsis opens with 4 essentials. 1. A precise, definitive title. 2. An introduction giving the background to your chosen problem. 3. The rationale, explaining why this topic matters. 4. Clear, measurable objectives, the single most important part. It then continues with the research design. 5. Your research questions or hypotheses. 6. The methodology. Your universe, sample, and data collection tools. 7. The limitations of the study. 8. A chapter plan and a short list of references. 3 things must travel with your synopsis. The proposal pro forma, filled completely, the biodata of your proposed supervisor, and an originality certificate signed by you and your guide. Missing any one of these is a common reason proposals are returned. Remember the approval rule. For MARD, your study center supervisor grants final approval, and the approved proposal is then bound into the front of your dissertation as proof. Keep the original safe. You will need it at submission. Once approved, the real MARD work begins. Field study and methodology. This is what makes MRDP-001 different from a library project. You go into a real rural setting, a village, a panchayat, a cluster of households, and gather first-hand information. The goal is to sensitize you to the realities of rural life, not just read about them. You will typically use 4 kinds of data tools: structured questionnaires or surveys, interviews with residents and officials, direct field observation, and secondary data from census reports, panchayat records, and scheme portals. 2 terms you must get right. Your universe is the entire group you are studying. Say, all self-help group members in a block. Your sample is the smaller number you actually survey. Choose a sample size that is realistic for a single researcher and justify how you selected it. Never skip research ethics. Take informed consent before interviews. Keep respondents' identities confidential. Report your data honestly, even when it does not match your expectations. In our running example, the universe is all self-help group women in the chosen block. The sample might be 100 members across several groups. The tools: a household survey plus interviews on income, savings, and decision-making before and after joining a group. With your data collected, you assemble the dissertation itself. Every MARD dissertation opens with front matter in order: the title page, the supervisor's certificate, your declaration of originality, acknowledgements, and the table of contents with lists of tables and figures. The heart of the report is 5 chapters. This structure is standard for empirical rural development research, and evaluators look for it. Chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 1, the introduction. Your problem, rationale, objectives, and scope. Chapter 2, the review of literature, earlier studies, and the gap your work fills. Chapters 3 and 4. Chapter 3, research methodology, your design, universe, sample, tools, and limitations. Chapter 4, data analysis and interpretation, your tables, figures, and what they mean. Chapter 5 closes the study, your findings, conclusions, and practical suggestions for rural development. After it come the references in a consistent style, such as APA and the appendices. your questionnaire, raw tables and photographs. The formatting rules are firm, not less than 100 pages, A4 paper, double spacing, 12-point font. For a full formatting walkthrough, see our dedicated IGNOU project format video, linked below. Before binding, do 3 things. Show the final draft to your supervisor and fix every correction. Add page numbers and place illustrations correctly. Then hard-bind the dissertation with the approved proposal enclosed inside. Now the final stretch: submission, Viva, and evaluation. A typed and bound copy of your dissertation is sent by registered post to the Student Evaluation Division at IGNOU headquarters in Maidan Garhi, New Delhi, at pin code 110068. Many students can now also submit online through the IGNOU project portal. Confirm the current address and online option for your session before you send anything. Whatever route you use, your submission must include everything: the bound dissertation, the approved original proposal, the supervisor's certificate, your originality declaration, and any evaluation fee receipt your session requires. Deadlines follow 2 cycles each year. For the July session, the synopsis is generally due by the end of March and the report by the end of May. For the January session, the synopsis is due by the end of September and the report by the end of November. Treat these as firm and always verify the exact dates for your session. Be ready for a viva voce. Many MARD students are called to explain their work orally, so know your objectives, methodology, and findings well enough to defend them in simple words. A confident Viva shows the examiner the work is truly your own. On evaluation, the dissertation is graded, not marked out of a written paper. You must secure at least the minimum grade the program requires. Commonly a C grade in the dissertation. Fall short, and you may be asked to revise and resubmit. Confirm the exact minimum grade in your current handbook. Avoid the mistakes that cost students months. A vague or oversized topic, starting fieldwork before approval, weak or missing methodology, forgetting the certificate or declaration, and submitting after the deadline. That covers the how. Now the question every student asks: is it worth it? First, recognition. MARD is a UGC-recognized master's degree from IGNOU, a central university ranked first among open universities. It is valid for government jobs, competitive exams, and higher studies. And MRDP-001 is the research core that gives the degree its weight. Career-wise, rural development opens real doors. Government departments and DRDAs, Panchayati Raj institutions, NGOs and voluntary organizations, CSR and development projects, and national bodies working on rural livelihoods. Your dissertation becomes proof you can actually do field research. Is it worth it for working professionals? Yes, especially if you already work near the rural sector, in a bank, an NGO, or a government office. The flexible distance format lets you study alongside a job, and the project turns your everyday field into an academic qualification. A few quick questions students always ask: is MRDP-001 compulsory? Yes. You cannot earn the MARD degree without it. Can I choose my own topic? Yes, in consultation with your supervisor, as long as it fits rural development. 2 more. Does IGNOU give a ready-made project? No. The university provides guidelines and a pro forma, never a finished dissertation, and the work must be your own. How long should it be? Not less than 100 pages of genuine field-based research. Let us bring it together. MRDP-001 is a 12-credit field dissertation. Your study center supervisor approves the synopsis. 5 chapters, 100 pages, A4, double-spaced. Submit with all certificates by your session deadline and be ready for a Viva. If this made MRDP-001 clearer, subscribe to Shri Chakradhar Education for more IGNOU guidance And visit IGNOUproject.com for detailed help. For personal support on your MARD project, the WhatsApp number is in the description. This is BK Sahni. Study smart and all the best with your dissertation.